Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the SavSocial912 podcast. I'm here with Harry Gardner, and today we're talking about the Savannah Boutique Fashion Show that's going to be happening in early May. So before we get into the full event, Harry, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do in Savannah?
So I moved here in 2018. I'm a retired Marine Corps Lieutenant Colonel. I did 31 years of service and came down here and was trying to find a job, and I didn't really want to work. And then I started volunteering, and that started me on this path of being involved with the community. So I am a Savannah Chamber of Commerce ambassador. So I go and I talk to businesses throughout our city. I volunteer up at the airport at the military lounge. I am the vice chairman of the Veterans Council for Chatham County. And so we have 27 veteran organizations in our county. And so we meet every month trying to find ways to help veterans, as well as running the Veterans Day Parade in November. And then when I became the vice chairman, I gave up my other volunteer job, which was the Metro Administrator for Team Rubicon, doing disaster relief from Savannah to Brunswick. And so I had the coastal counties of Georgia, and I was trying to coordinate volunteers to do disaster relief.
Wow, those are some amazing credentials just to kick straight out the gate, which I think that's very cool to kind of get some context behind that this is not just a fashion show, but it's an event that's supporting local veterans.
Absolutely. It is a fashion show. As a Marine, it is outside of my bailiwick wheelhouse job description, everything that I could think of for what you classify as a Marine. But I looked at the Veterans Council and I looked at our veteran community. And most people, when you think of a veteran, a lot of people think of some 60, 70-year-old person sitting at their American Legion or VFW post, drinking beer.
Like the Vietnam vet is what.
And there's nothing wrong with that. They're great people.
We're not stereotyping.
We're not stereotyping. But I wanted to break that mold. I wanted people to understand that we as veterans live in this community, we defended this community, but we're a part of your community. And so I had a friend of mine at the 208 Wine Bar up on Bay Street, and she made the recommendation, she's like, we used to have a fashion week. That would be a great fundraiser. And listening to her, I'm like, you are out of your mind. There is no way. And I took a moment and I'm like, yes, I'm going to run with this. And I have been running since January to do this show in May, trying to get vendors, a location, food, everything supporting this, as well as models. We've been trying to get veteran models so they can be in the runway. But it was such a great thing once I started doing this, because I realized it's not the veterans. We are a backbone support organization able to do the organizing of this event. I want to highlight the boutiques. And so we have some great boutiques that are here to support us. I've got Delaney Rose, Morgan Ray, Pima Boutique, See or Be Seen, Goldie Link Savannah, and Good Good, which is off of Bull Street. And I got a lot of support from the Dive. So the Dive does a food pantry, they feed the homeless every day.
Right.
And on Wednesdays, they do veterans. And they created a veteran, sort of like a MASH unit. So they bring in the Veteran Administration, they bring in medical, they feed them, and then they have these abilities to talk to the homeless to try and get them off the street by offering them these different things. Well, they're supporting us. They're going to do the food.
Great.
And then Service Brewing, which is a veteran-owned beer brewer, they're providing the beer for sale at the venue. And then I got the Mackey House, and the Mackey House has been bent over backwards for us. And so they're going to have the wine. So
Great.
I have found out that women like to shop when they have wine in hand.
Oh,
and
yes.
So I'm trying my best to cater to the audience that I'm going to have there. And so we have 200 tickets that we're trying to sell and get people to come visit and see it. We're going to have it set up where you can do a pre-look of the vendors, because they're going to be selling their clothing there, and trucker hats and charm bracelets and jewelry and things. So they're going to be there. You'll be able to get your drinks, get some food, and then we'll call everybody to get in their seats. everybody's going to have a view of the show where we have the seating. It's going to be perfect where everybody can see it.
Great.
And then we'll end the show hopefully around 7:15, and then you have about 45 minutes to do more shopping.
Great. Yeah, that sounds
So
like
we're really trying to find this sweet spot where you can actually go to the boutiques, because they're going to be set up in a pavilion. So they're not going to be in tents. They're all going to have a table, and they're going to have their racks of clothing.
Great.
And if you don't have the size, they will try and find it for you, and they'll be able to get your information and communicate with you and try and get you the size that you want.
Yeah, and that's very exciting. I've met a lot of these business owners in town, like Morgan Ray is fabulous. And they really do go above and beyond for their customers. And I know particularly Morgan Ray is involved in a lot of volunteering and giving back. So I love that you guys are all collaborating and giving these business owners a chance to.
And that's what I really want, is I want them to shine. It's not, yes, we're going to have some veterans. We're also going to have their models from their own friends and whoever they have.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's really just to make those boutiques the focus, not us, the veterans, even though we will have one or two and we're going to talk about them. It's really, let's talk about what these boutiques provide to the city.
Yeah.
And I have, when I started thinking about this, it's like, oh, let's do a show, and I'm going to do it. And in 5 months, I'll have a show done. And so I'm looking to find all I do right and all I do wrong in this show, because I have a 3-year plan, 3 to 5. And next year I want to do 2 shows.
Right, exactly.
I want to do a spring, summer, and I want to do a fall show. That way I can get as much of the fashion world in the 2 different seasons for fashion. Like I said, I'm learning. And then in 2027, I want a fashion week. I want to do 2 shows a day. For one boutique, you have the morning, another boutique, you have the evening. And so that we can truly highlight these boutiques throughout the city. And I've got one in Springfield that wants to come down, and they do bridal dresses and ball gowns.
Great.
And then I've got one in Richmond Hill who has reached out, and I think they just do regular clothing. They're not themed like bridal gowns or something like that.
Right.
But I'm getting some engagement, and I want to get Emily McCarthy, because her shop is famous in our city, and I would like to get her involved maybe in one of the shows next year. But I think that it's a proof of concept.
Emily McCarthy, we're throwing out a line to you, so it'd be great.
Definitely.
And I think there's a lot of really talented people who own boutiques, but also fashion designers. Like I was saying,
absolutely.
Emily Bargeron would be a great person. Emily, I'm throwing a line out to you as well. But I think it's great that you're finding a way to connect our community and give back. And I love how you were kind of, skeptical about it in the beginning, but now when I see you talk about it, the vision is definitely there.
There is a passion that I didn't think I would have for trying to do this. And it is more, I want the show to go off well. I want it to be a classy event. I don't want it to come off as something very hokey.
Yes.
I really want to highlight these boutiques as much as I can with class and with dignity, because that's what they deserve. I mean, they're working in this city. They're a member of our community. Let's highlight what they have as best as we can, because that's what they deserve.
Well, there is plenty of style and class in this town to begin with, but I think that this is something you have a great vision, and putting an event like this together and then having a long-term plan, I think will help elevate our community and what our city has to offer.
Oh, absolutely.
People fly into New York Fashion Week all the time. New York Fashion Week got to start somewhere.
And it would be great if I can we actually used to have a fashion week here in Savannah about 10, 11 years ago, and the city supported it. They would close down an entire block to allow it to be on a street.
Oh, wow.
And they provided money to the fashion show, and it sort of went away. And SCAD, the College of Art and Design, they do a fashion week.
They do.
But it's very insular. It's very closed, and it's really for the students. It's for the teachers. It's for their
the
families.
Seniors showcase their collection.
And I would love to have them involved.
Yeah.
And so, I'm trying to get them. It would be nice if they could offer some of their students to be fashion marketing to help us market this. If I could get some of their students to be models, because I know some of them do that. I know I could use their music department to provide the music for the show. I could just see something with SCAD, and I mean, they are such a big part of this city, and I would love to have them at, and I'm looking at 2027. It's 2 years down the road. I don't think they're going to be next year, But if they could work with me and look at 2027, 2 years from now, I think we could have something that would be really neat and highlight their students.
And I totally agree. And that would be so lucky for the students who are currently at SCAD. Like, I'm a SCAD alumni from graduated 10 years ago. Don't start counting my age. But I know that when I first graduated, I was still trying to like build my portfolio and get a job. And Savannah didn't really have like a platform or community. Social media was not so much a thing like it is now. But I think it's great that you're keeping them in mind for future opportunities where they can showcase their talents, or like having that on their resume could be a game changer.
And I've talked to the chair of the fashion department, and I would really like to look at their clubs, or just, engaging with the students for next year, because they could say, I worked on this, and they could pad their resume with,
Absolutely.
I was on this thing. And if it's a club or just a volunteer thing from their students, I would love that also.
Yes. And I know a lot of the seniors, when they graduate, they showcase their collections at the SCAD Fashion Show, but maybe if they're still in town after that, they can apply to have their collection shown on.
One of the things I really wanted to do was actually use one of the days in the fashion week as a SCAD day.
That'd be great.
And I wanted like the morning show to be a hiring event where we could reach out to industry partners and have them show up and see these SCAD students show and showcase what they were doing as a way to say, that could be the next Yves Saint Laurent, that could be the next Versace, that could be the next Jimmy Choo.
I am so impressed with you.
Yeah, I know the names. I don't know half of what they make. Some Michael Kors bags if they were making that.
Yeah, there's accessories, designers.
All that would be something that they could
designers.
do, and do that morning event, and then the evening event is a free for all for the students, where they get to just highlight, be it a wild junk to funk or some sort of craziness that they wanted to do, just go for it. Because I understand about SCAD and their students. They don't have the ability to do bulk production.
Sure, yeah.
But they can have a lot of fun. And I really would like that. But again, it's 2 years, possibly 3 years down the road, because it really has to be embraced by the school.
Yes.
I want them, but I can't force the school to do it.
Yes, and I'm sure there's some formalities with SCAD too, but I do
Absolutely.
know
there's policies and educational stuff, and I get it.
But they like to collaborate with the city.
I would love to have them as a collaborator.
I'm sure in a couple of years with the plan, they'd be open to it rather than knocking on their door saying, are you here in 2 weeks and want to help? So, well, I'm really proud of you. I love hearing just like the enthusiasm that you have behind all of this. And like, let's take a step back from you actually like planning the steps to get this event into action. So were there any like lessons learned or like things that you kind of thought might be easy and weren't?
One, I'm not the greatest when it comes to asking for help. Mm-hmm. It's just never been my nature. I'm more just put my head down and do it. And I've had some great friends. I would be remiss if I didn't talk about Logo Goods, which is a female-owned business here in the city. They've done our flyers. They're doing t-shirts. They're helping the Veterans Council. We've created a mascot that's going to be on merchandise so we can get rid of the logo, because everybody doesn't know a logo.
Awesome.
But we're going to do some merch that's going to be thematic based off of what's going on in the year, and they'll help do stuff for the American Legion riders. When they do a poker run on motorcycles, they'll make t-shirts for them.
That's cool.
But they were the ones that said, let's go and talk to people and get sponsorship. And so Wingman Junk gave us a sponsorship for this to get us get us running. And without their support, this wouldn't even be going.
Yes.
And so that's been my biggest hurdle, is you got to ask for help. And I have been remiss, and it's just not my strong suit.
Yes. Also, did I see you at the Sips at the Station event a few months ago? And someone was being like, hey, he needs a venue.
That is the one.
And then check, you got a venue. That's amazing.
That was Wingman Junk at Sips at the Station that did that. And that was part of Logo Goods. That's Nancy. And Nancy Turcotte and her partner, Sandy. They are just amazing. But I'd go to Sips at the Station every month trying to support any charity, that they support during those events. We had the Girl Scouts last night, which was great. But it's just, this city really pulls together.
Yes.
And that's where I got the dive Service Brewing, they've offered. They're like, oh, we want to be a part of that. And so they're actually doing casting calls for veterans at Service Brewing.
Oh, exciting.
Trying to get veterans to be the models.
When are you doing that?
I don't know that because that's the owner of Good. She has been taking over some of the operations because she has run fashion shows in New York.
Got it.
And so she is sort of headlining that. And so she has been working with Service Brewing, and that's how we got them to provide the beer. And
Great.
so it's just phenomenal what this city is willing to do to help. And I love it. I mean, that's one of the reasons I love this city is we are the hostess city, but we really do try our best to help anybody who needs it. It's just phenomenal.
Yeah, and I think I've lived in Savannah for about 15 years, and I've tried to move away a few times to like prove something, but then I keep moving back because like the community is unlike any other. And if you have a vision or a dream or an event you want to put on, your community will show up for you. And
yeah, and so that's what we're trying to do right now. And so we have a QR code for selling tickets. We're just asking everybody who wants to participate, come and we'll take donations if you can't come.
Awesome.
That's also on the website. When you click on the QR code, it'll pop up, and you can, if you're not going to buy a ticket, please donate.
Yes. Awesome. Well, I'll include all of the website and the call to action for this event. Really quick before we come to a close, though, I know you're kind of involved in a lot of different volunteering in town. If anybody who like watches this is interested in getting involved, do you have any suggestions of organizations they could reach out to?
Well, if you're looking to volunteer, in all honesty, the place to volunteer is Second Harvest off of Chatham Parkway, because they're always looking for help. 9:00 in the morning, they're always looking for people to help create meals for children because they support 21 counties in our area. Saturdays, they're usually doing bag meals for like seniors or for special groups. You can have an entire group. If you have a church that wants to go, they'll set it up. But my biggest thing that I would say is support your American Legions and your VFWs. Most of them have a bar that's open to the public now. Go to them. If there is a golf tournament that we're putting on, participate. We have a lot of raffles. We are a military-based veteran family, so sometimes they're guns. Some people don't like that.
That's okay. We live in the South.
You live in the South, but we do have a lot of gun raffles. But participate. I know the American Legion on Forsyth 135, Betty Bomber's, great little restaurant in there. Their bar's open.
So do the proceeds from the bar patronage like go to?
They go to the American Legion, and then they'll use that to help, help veterans.
I didn't realize that was drinking for a cause.
Oh, absolutely.
And they have great prices over there. It's cash only.
It is cash only, but they do have an ATM in the back.
Yes.
And the Masquerade Ball is another thing that the American Legion puts on. They have poker nights in the different facilities.
Yeah, I saw they had a like firefighter benefit during St. Patrick's Day too.
And then they most of the American Legions really do try and find activities where the public can come and participate. And if somebody wants to, if they're looking for something to do, reach out to your American Legion. They probably got something that they will be able to participate in.
That's awesome. Well, I appreciate the advice. I'm kind of always asking around because I think a part of our social calendar is kind of missing the volunteer aspect. Like you can volunteer at One Love, you can go to the Ronald McDonald House, but I never thought that just going to the American Legion and getting some drinks would be helping for a good cause.
It is a good cause. It does help.
Fabulous. Well, is there anything else you want to share before we come to a close?
Nope. I'm just thankful that you let me come on and talk about the show. My biggest thing is please buy a ticket.
Yes. Well, I love promoting events in town, but events that have a cause and are, benefiting our community really strike home for me. So lastly, how can we find you? Do you want to share social media stuff?
We are on Instagram for the Veterans Council of Chatham County. We're on Facebook. There is a Facebook event already built, which has the links. It has the QR code. I'm on Instagram and I have my account open, which has this posted. A lot of people are reposting this. So we're really trying to advertise as much as we can.
Great.
I understand it's May 7th, but you can still buy your tickets now.
Great. So yeah, echoing this back. So this is the Savannah Boutique Veteran Show, and it's going to be May 7th from 5 to 8 p.m., correct? So you'll have a fashion show that goes until like 7:15 and
7:15, and then, but you'll have between 5 and 5:30, 5 and 5:45, you'll be able to do some pre-looks.
Great.
And look at stuff, get wine, get drinks, get some food.
Yeah, get warmed up before the shop into retail starts.
Have the show, and then around 7:15, we're going to call it quits and let everybody go shop.
Awesome.
And drink wine.
And drink wine. And this is going to be at the Mackey House out by Redgate Farm, so off the Chatham Parkway.
Off of Chatham Parkway.
Awesome. All right. Well, I hope you guys take a look into Harry's event. And if you guys are interested in volunteering or anything, reach out to me or Harry directly.
That would be great.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks for coming on.
Thank you so very much.
Yes.
I really do appreciate it.
And we'll be in touch. I'm excited to interview you for next year.
Okay.
Awesome. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay social, Savannah.